If you can't hear this, I'm gonna voice over, okay? Right, so this is Tuna Mornay. This is my mum's recipe. This is my mum's recipe. We're having a Fortnite tournament. You might not be able to hear me. If you can't, voice over. Right, we are going to go for the voiceover option. This is my second time trying to record this because I just seem to ramble a lot, so I'm just going to try and let the music play if I have to. What you're going to need is 2 heaped tablespoons of flour, 2 heaped tablespoons of butter or margarine, 1 onion, 2 cups of milk, a tin of creamed corn, a tin of corn kernels, make sure they're the same size, and tuna in brine. Make sure your tuna is John West tuna, I think that's the best tuna, and make sure it's in brine, not olive oil and not spring water because the taste is different, and I think that in brine is much, much better. It's much more natural. So before you get started with this meal, make sure all your elements are ready to go so that you're not having to stop and start, because a lot of this recipe is just stirring because you don't want it to catch, okay? So you want to drain your tuna, drain your corn kernels, and sort of chop up your onion, have everything ready to go so that you don't have to do anything while you're actually making it. So you want to heat up your butter, melt your butter until it starts to simmer, and then add in your onions. Now in the recipe it says stir until they're translucent. Well, my issue with that is onions are always fucking translucent, like that's how they always look. So just stir for like 3 minutes, let them simmer until your onions have started to soften, and then you want to add in your flour. This is just plain flour. Don't use self-raising flour. You don't need it in this recipe, obviously, because it's, you're not baking. You want to basically stir that constantly. Do not let it catch until you've made this little bit of a paste. Almost looks like it starts to turn into a dough, and then you want to, as soon as it starts looking like that, you want to remove it off of the heat, because otherwise it will start to stick, and you don't want that because then it, becomes gross. Now, you are meant to be using a whisk for this, but mine was dirty, so I couldn't be fucked. You can use a rubber spatula, but anyway. Right, you've got 2 cups of milk. So what you want to do with that is you want to start slowly and gradually adding your milk into the mixture. If you add it all at once, it takes longer to cook off and it ruins the taste, in my opinion anyway. I've done it once by accident when I wasn't thinking. I just tipped the whole motherfucking thing in. Anyway, so you want to gradually tip it in a little bit at a time and just keep stirring until you get the whole thing of the milk in and it's all cooked off. So let's let the music play, shall we? Let's let it play. Right, once you've added in like a cup worth of the milk off the heat, at that point your mixture will probably start cooling down, and then it won't actually be combining the mixture and turning it into that thickened paste. So what you're probably going to want to do is put it back on the element once you've got halfway through, just like I did there, and then add in the rest of the milk. You should have about half left by that point. So I think this is the last lot of I put in just a moment here. I put in the last lot of the milk because it's starting to thicken up. And then you want to, again, let that simmer. Not simmer, you need to really keep stirring it, but you know what I mean. Just let it sort of sit and stir and sit and stir. So add the rest of your milk in, and basically until all your milk's in and it's all nice and thick. All right, once you've gotten to this point where it starts to bubble, you want to go ahead and add in your other elements. So that milk adding process is the only reason it takes as long as it does. So this recipe takes probably 10 to 15 minutes to make, and it's mostly just letting that milk cook off. So all you want to do is add in your tuna, corn, and your cream corn. Make sure the other, other than the cream corn, make sure the other 2 are drained. And you want to break up that tuna, make sure the tuna is properly broken up, because you want to be able to get tuna in all of your meal. Otherwise, you're going to have, some meals with big chunks in and some without. So you want to add in your tuna, break it all up, and give it a really, really good stir. Make sure it's all combined. And then you want to let it simmer for probably 5 minutes. Just keep, stir it every now and then. Make sure it's not catching at the bottom, because this will catch really easily because you've made such a thick paste out of it. But basically stir around until it's a thickened consistency. All your ingredients are combined until it basically looks like this. This is the end result. So this is just before I'm starting to dish it up. This feeds between 4 to 5 people, and it's a pretty cheap meal to make. I think it's like $10 to $15 to make this meal, which is really good. And a lot of the ingredients you've got at home already. Basically, the only thing you're actually buying is the tuna and the 2 types of corn. Feeds to 4 to 5 people. It's pretty cheap, and it's really, really fast to make. It takes about 15 minutes to make this recipe, and it's just very heartwarming. It's good for a winter's night, and great served with buttered toast. So that is how you make my mum's very special tuna mornay. Hopefully you enjoy it.